All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for joining us for today's A Month of Service presentation. And today we're here for our Money, Health, and Wealth Financial Capability Series. And today's topic is jobs, careers, and finances for youth and adults. My name is Leah Murray. I am the programs coordinator with Neighborhood Recovery Community Development Corporation, and we are one of the partners in our A Month of Service collaborative. Also included is the City of Houston's Department of Neighborhoods, Harris Central Appraisal District, Harris County Tax Assessor Collector's Office, Lone Star Legal Aid, Houston Volunteer Lawyers, the Earl Carl Institute, Harris County Attorney's Office, and the Texas Legal Service Center. And together we make up a month of service. And basically, a month of service is the collaboration of all of our organizations coming together each month to collectively pool a lot of our initiatives to provide information and resources to the community relative to asset building, asset protection, the maintaining of generational wealth and community empowerment. And today we're here to provide you guys with the information as part of our financial capability series in regards to some whatever money related issue, financial related issues, not necessarily even just issues. I wouldn't call them issues per se, but knowledge and information that you want to that could help with improving the quality of life or just kind of getting a little bit further ahead as it relates to your finances. So we provide you with that information. And our series is sponsored by Family Houston. And today we have a senior financial coach, Ms. Monet Cheney, who's going to be providing the information for you all in regards to jobs, careers, and finances and youth and for youth and adults. So um, do know that this is your opportunity to ask whatever questions it is that you may have. We do record this session. We also do broadcast live on our social media platforms. So we do try to ask that you try to keep your questions to be as general as you possibly can, so that way your personal detailed information is not getting out there for everybody to have access to. In addition to that, because we do record, we want to try to protect your privacy as best as we possibly can. So we don't want you to divulge any personal detailed information for everybody to have access to. So do keep that in mind. However, we do enjoy the interaction and the engagement. So please feel free to ask whatever questions that it is while we have the financial expert that's going to be presenting the information for you today. So without further ado, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. So Ms. Monet, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and we go ahead and get started. Monet, Monet, you there? Deanna, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Uh-huh.
Okay. Oh, Monet must have had these her issues again. Oh, I wonder if I wonder if she got disconnected again.
Or maybe she's on mute.
Hmm.
Maybe she's mute.
No, I think she may have just had that connection issue. Oh, Monet, you there? You unmuted real quick and then it went back off. Now
Can
you're
you hear me
unmuted.
now?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay, I don't know what's going on today.
Hey, my broker, she always says it's just nothing but the devil. Nothing but the devil. That means you got some good information to give out. Somebody's trying to stop it. So we're not gonna let that
I
happen
know
today.
I tried closing everything out that I could close out. Okay, so let me share my screen.
Oh, I gotta stop this one first.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
And good evening, everyone. My name is Monet Cheney with Family Houston, um, where we offer free financial coaching for individuals that are looking for help with finding work as well as bettering their finances. And I'll go a little bit more into some of the services that we offer later. But let me get my screen shared so we can get started.
you probably won't be seeing Miss Monet's face today. She's not being antisocial. It's because of these Zoom issues that
Yes.
we've been having. But that is exactly what she looks like there. So I'll be keeping my camera on while you guys do the presentation because I don't know that anybody likes just looking at a blank screen while you talk. So
Yes. I'm trying to eliminate all possible reasons that my Zoom log out on me. Can everyone see the slideshow?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today we'll be talking about working in your finances. Um, and this information can help youth as well as adults. Cause we'll mainly be focusing on how to choose a career path, and the basics of personal finance, and then the importance of financial literacy and career development. Um, we're learning this because it matters for us to prepare for successful futures, build confidence in decision making, and then manage money for independence and financial freedom. So, just starting off as to what is a career. A career is a long term journey, not just a job. It's about finding work you enjoy, you're good at, and that supports your life goals. So when it comes to understanding our career paths, there's four different career paths that most individuals take. So either it's skilled trades, and these are occupations that only require certifications or associate degrees. So that can be, for example, electricians, plumbers, chefs, technicians. It can also include some nursing or medical related trades that don't require a bachelor's degree. And normally these skilled trades only require degrees up to 2 years. And anyone at any age can start these trainings. There's also options where you can take these trainings for free. And then when we get into our more professional careers, these are occupations that require bachelor's degrees and higher, so meaning longer time in school. And some might require specialized certifications. So, for example, these would be like our doctors, teachers, engineers, lawyers. So, these are a little bit more specialized careers. Um, and then we have our creative careers. So these are occupations that require specialized training, certifications, and degrees. So these occupations normally are individuals who are more so on the creative side. So you have like your designers, you have architects, you have actors, and you have musicians. And usually with creative careers, it also requires a certain level of like um, talent that you have. So, like with designers, they're talented at designing homes or businesses or clothing. So, creative careers are for those individuals that lean more to the creative side. And then, entrepreneurship is starting your own business or freelancing. So, example of these career roles is business owners. I throw in influencers because influencers are entrepreneurs, contract workers, and consultants. So, how do we choose the right career path? So, first, we want to consider your interests and strengths. You can take a career assessment test to determine what careers are best for you. You can list your hobbies and passions. And then also you want to consider your natural talents and strengths. And so I do, as a financial stability coach, and even working with individuals with employment, We do have adults that decide at some point they want to change careers. And they're trying to figure out how to navigate that. Or wanting to figure out what is a different career path that I can take even later in life. So this same information can be used even as an adult to determine if you want to make a career change. So again, looking at what you're passionate about, what your hobbies are, things that you're naturally talented at, things that you have strengths in, that can help you decide if you want to switch careers even later in life. And then also, we want to research the job market. So when we're researching the job market, we're looking at the demand for the careers that we're wanting to get into, average salaries, and whether or not those salaries and benefits would support our lifestyles. And then we also want to know about job stability and growth potential. So as a young person, when you're even considering your majors in college, you want to look at like, what do I want to do when I grow up? How much will I make in this career? What is the job stability and growth if I want to grow in that company? For adults, if you're looking to switch careers or switch jobs, you still want to do the same research of the job market because you want to know, okay, if I switch careers or switch industries, what are the average salaries in that particular industry? Or if I'm switching companies, what are the salaries for the positions at a new company? What benefits do this company offer? What is the stability at this company? Because there are careers and industries that also don't have job stability. So we're looking at different industries. We have to look at like how often do they have layoffs, or how often is there, and then as far as growth potential, like how much growth is it in this company? And then lastly, we want to look at education and skills. So what education is required for this particular career or job change? Am I needing trade school, college, or certifications? And then what skills you need to build. So what soft skills do you need and what hard skills do you need for this particular career or job change? And then as an adult, you might look at upskilling. So there's different opportunities to upskill. Um, Google have Coursera where you can take courses to upskill. Microsoft Office, they have courses that you can take to upskill if you're wanting to transition to a new industry or new career. I know like Family Houston and United Way of Greater Houston have an opportunity with Verizon to take courses to upskill as well. So even as an adult where you're kind of well into a career, and you're wanting to change jobs or switch companies or switch into a different industry, you want to consider these same things like, is there any special certifications or certificates that you need to switch into a new job or a new career or industry? And then are there some skills, soft skills or hard skills you need to gain?
Monet, can you
Uh,
explain what upskill means?
Yeah, so upskill, just meaning that you're bettering skills that you already have. So just say, for instance, if you're already good, like just say if you work in admin and you do a lot of data entry, but you decide I want to learn about data analytics. So you're already familiar with data entry, but now you want to like expand on that and learning how to manipulate data for different companies and more on like an IT side. Or just say, for instance, if you work in HR, but you want to learn more about a different HR software or HR system, or you want to switch into HR, and so you take some HR classes to learn more about HR. So it's really just adding on new skills to skills that you already have. Okay, so just continuing on with how to choose the right career. So there are career exploration websites that can help you research the job market, skills, and education for different careers. When exploring career options, consider your return on invested time and money compared to your potential salary. Also, when researching the job market trends, narrow your search to the city you wish to live. Job market trends, they can vary from city to city. Um, so for our youth and young adults, we definitely want to make sure that we're understanding the job market in the area where we're going to be living, because the cost of living is going to be different. So that means your potential salaries are going to be different based on the city, the state, or even the country. If you decide you want to work and live in a different country, those salaries and how and that job market is going to be different. So we want to make sure that we're understanding what that job market look like. And also, when it comes to going to college and doing certifications, we want to make sure the time that we invest into certain career paths is we're going to get a return on that investment based on like what salary we can earn in a particular role. So here are three options for career exploration websites. So there's Workforce Solutions, Texas Career Check, and then ONET Online. ONET Online is one of my favorite websites because they give you a lot of information about different types of careers, different industries. You can also narrow your search to the particular city and state. And then if your resume on it online, I give you job descriptions to kind of help you understand or help you be able to articulate what duties you performed in a particular role. So ONET Online has a lot of good information when it comes to the job market, when it comes to job market trends and research. So, how does education affect your career? So, there's four types of education options when it comes to careers. So, some careers may require only a high school diploma or GED. Some will require vocational or trade school certifications or associate degrees. Then we also have our college and university degrees. So that can be an associate degree and higher. And then there's internships and apprenticeships. Internships give you opportunity to get work experience during a time like you can do internships while you're in high school or college, or even going through a training program in order to get some real world experience in a particular job or career. Usually internships are unpaid. And then apprenticeships is normally the apprenticeship is a career training focus. You're getting paid the entire time. As you're training in a particular trade, you're also getting an opportunity to get professional work experience. So when I think of apprenticeships, I think of careers such as welding, electricians. So again, these training programs, you're getting paid throughout the program. And then choosing the right path is never one size fit all approach. Um, if you're someone that you feel like you're not a good fit for like a university or college, uh, when it comes to trade schools versus college, it really depends on the career and training that you're going into. There's a lot of trade school careers that are very lucrative, where you can make a lot of money. For example, like electricians can make a very high salary, especially if they get up to a master electrician. And then also like with nursing, just with the associate's degree can make a very good salary. So not so college might not be a good fit for everyone. So trade school might be a better fit for some individuals. So the reason why I put trade school versus college, I don't, because sometimes people feel like they have to go to college, but you should find a career path that best fit you. Also, there's opportunities for online learning and certifications. So, like I mentioned before, you have like Coursera, and then we have like a program that we're working with Verizon. They have their edX online learning where you certificates. So those are good opportunities if you want to learn new skills or if you want to better skills that you already have. Nia, you can still hear me? Because it's saying like my connection is unstable. So I want to make sure on your end everything is good. Nia, you can still hear me? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. I hope I saw that it said that my internet was unstable, but I'll keep going. Um, So, moving into an introduction to personal finance, this section is primarily to introduce personal finance to youth and young adults. Um, but some of these tips can be used for all ages. So I want to start with why personal finance matters. So it helps you manage your money wisely, builds long-term wealth and security, and prepares you for financial independence. And then some key personal finance topics that we're going to go over is budgeting and savings, understanding credit and debt, investing for the future, and retirement planning even at a young age. So first, I want to start off with what is financial responsibility. So the definition of financial responsibility refers to the process of managing money and other similar assets in a way that is considered productive and is also in the best interest of the individual or the family or the business. And so when we're thinking of financial responsibility, we want to think of ways that making sure that we're managing money in a way to reach financial stability. So some ways to be financially responsible is spending within your income. Creating monthly budget plans will help to control how you spend and help you avoid overspending. Having an emergency fund. So, and with the emergency fund, we're creating a savings to cover emergencies to avoid the use of credit cards or loans in the case of an emergency, which helps us reduce the amount of debt that we have. Next is saving for the future. So this is more so your long-term savings. So creating savings for retirement, children's education, and large purchases. And then using credit wisely. So only spending what you can afford to pay monthly, and then keeping balances on credit cards low or at zero. So just making sure we're only borrowing money as needed, and we're not just opening credit as a way, as a form of extra income. And then lastly, we want to protect, you want to protect your identity from identity theft. So we want to make sure we're protecting our identity at all costs. So just being careful who we give our personal information to when we're doing things online, such as shopping online, or even utilizing like Cash App and all of these different apps. Just being careful who, like what websites and apps we're putting our information into to make sure that that information isn't getting into the wrong hands. And then also being mindful of responding to phishing emails, text messages, and calls. So, budgeting your first steps into financial freedom. So, the definition of a budget is it's a plan to manage your money by monitoring your income and tracking your expenses. So, budgeting doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sacrifice. It's just the means of being able to monitor your income and tracking your expenses so you can set plans to manage your income better. So a budget allows you to understand where your money comes from and where it goes. It also helps you avoid overspending and prioritize saving. As well as if there's particular goals that you're working on, it would help you be able to prioritize any income that is going to go towards those goals. How do we create a budget? So we're going to create a budget by tracking our cash flow only. So this is going to be incoming cash flow and all expenses. Your bank account, if you're using a checking account, is the best option to track your cash flow. If you're using cash, then you'll have to manually track, but we want to make sure that we're tracking every single dollar that we earn and how we're spending it. Then we're going to set a spending plan each month. Most of us, we spend the same way every month unless you make a decision to spend differently. So tracking your income expenses is going to help you understand how to set a spending plan for the next month. And in some cases, when it comes to how we set plans for our income, we can follow the 50-30-20 rule. And so this rule just states that 50% of your income gonna go towards needs, 30% towards wants, and 20% towards savings and or debt repayments. And this rule can change per person. If you don't have like if 50% of your income, you don't need to put 50% towards needs. It's gonna be based on what your income is. So you can adjust your percentages based on what your current financial situation is. For some people, their needs might be more than 50% of their income, and so they might put less towards wants. For some, they might not be able to do 20% towards savings, or there might be some individuals who don't have debt repayments. So these percentages can change based on your current financial situation. So when you're tracking your finances, you also want to look at all your debt payments, your saving needs or your savings goals, and then all of your basic needs to determine what those percentages look like. And debt. First, credit is the ability to borrow money to make purchases. It's used for buying things like a car, a house, or even starting a business. And then there's two types of credit. Revolving credit is usually credit cards and line of credit. So that means that as you use a credit card and pay it back, that credit limit is going to be revolving. So there isn't a stopping place. The credit card, the line of credit stays open until either the consumer closes the account or the bank closes the account. So as you borrow from your credit limit and when you pay it back, it just puts the credit limit back to whatever the original amount is. So it's kind of like a circle. For installment payments, these are normally your mortgage loans, personal loans, and auto loans and student loans. So installment payments usually have a term to them. That means that the loan is going to be paid off by a certain date. And with installment payments, it does include interest. And the interest do accrue daily, but you do have like a set interest amount for the term of the loan. And then that's the principal loan amount plus interest is divided up into monthly payments. And then, of course, with installment loans, if you pay it off early, then you save on interest. And then when it comes to our credit scores and credit reports, the credit score is a number that shows how reliable you are at repaying debt. So creditors use the credit score to determine what type of borrower you are. And if you are someone that is good with credit, the higher the score, the better approval odds and interest rates you will receive. So you are going to, the higher your credit score are, most likely you're going to get approved. And then those creditors are going to offer you lower interest rates, which save you money over time. But your credit report is different from your credit score. So the credit report is a list of all accounts over the last 7 to 10 years. And so basically the credit report is almost like a report card for your credit, for your credit. So all creditors, they report information to your credit report to show each other how good you are at paying your debts, not overusing your credit card limits. So your credit report, just think of it as like a report card for your credit accounts. There's 3 credit reporting agencies: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Those are the 3 main credit reports that most creditors look at and most creditors report to. There are some other financial reports that report additional information. So there's Sage Stream, LexisNexis, Innovis. Um, and so Innovis is a report if you need to freeze a report to prevent theft, the validation of that to opt out of personal offers. And then also there's check system. Check system is for banking. So if you owe a bank, then that information goes into check systems. So with our credit score, most creditors, they're going to refer to your FICO credit score. There are different credit scores out there, such as Vantage and CreditWise, but the credit score we want to pay attention to is the FICO score. And when you're wanting to build or improve your credit score, you need to focus on these 5 factors that generate the credit score. So first there's payment history, which is 35% of your credit score. And then there's amounts owed. So that's credit, that's how much of your credit card limit you're using. That's 30% of your credit score. Then anytime you open credit, that's 10%. And then the length of credit history is 15%, and then having a good mix of credit is 10%. For most people, the main focus is payment history and credit usage. That takes up 65% of your credit score. So paying on time and keeping credit cards under 30% of the total limit is going to drastically grow your credit score. The other three, since they have a small effect, those things just are going to happen over time. So for new credit, we want to make sure that we're not just applying for credit. We're only applying for credit as needed, so we can keep our inquiries to a minimum. And then if we have any revolving credit cards, they want to make sure that we're keeping credit cards open because the longer a credit account is open, the better your credit history looks. And then we want to have a mixture of both. So just making sure we have installment payments and as well as revolving debt on our credit report. Because if you don't have a mixture of both, then that can affect your credit score. So, this diagram just gives an example of what is considered poor to excellent credit. So our FICO scores, they range from 300 to 850, 300 being considered poor credit, up to 800 to 850 being excellent. So where you fall on this range will determine how likely you are to get approved by lenders, as well as determine what your interest rates are going to be. So when you're thinking of like certain lenders, like mortgage lenders, they only want to see a 620 and higher. And then the higher your credit score is, the better your mortgage interest rate can be. With credit cards, depending on where you fall, would determine the types of credit cards you can apply for. So when you're in the poor and fair range, then you might be looking at your secured credit card options or credit builder options to help you build up to a good to excellent range. But when you're in a good to excellent range, then you're more than likely to get approved for unsecured accounts. And then accounts that offer benefits like travel points or cash back. So the things that affect our credit score is to increase our credit score. We want to always pay on time, keep credit card balances under 30% of the total credit limit, keep inquiries to a minimum, have a good mix of credit, and have years of positive history. And then things that decrease our credit score is any late or missed payments, high balances on credit cards, a high number of inquiries, collection items, and too short credit history or no credit history. So some building blocks for good credit. We want to develop a budget and stick to it because getting new credit cards does not mean you have more income. So you always want to think of any time that you get credit, whether it's an installment loan or a revolving um, credit card account. Um, you want to make sure that that expense fits into your budget. So, developing the budget will let you know, can you afford your credit card payment and can you afford whatever new installment loan payment that you have. Um, Also, we want to save money and prepare for emergencies or big purchases. Um, Having an emergency fund is going to reduce the need for credit in the time of an emergency, which is going to make that emergency cost more. And then when it comes to big purchases, having money saved up for like a house or to purchase a car is going to reduce the amount of loan that you get for those big purchases. And then we want to make sure we pay all bills on time. And this is including bills that don't normally report to the credit bureau monthly. Things like your cell phone, your utility bills, um, medical bills, those even rent um, those bills that they're not paid on time and they go into default, then they can become collection items on your credit report. So we want to make sure that we're paying all bills on time. And in some cases, there are programs that will take your utility payments and rent payments and count those towards your credit score. So we want to make sure we're paying all bills on time. Keep our credit card balances low or aim to pay off monthly. So if as a young person, if you start off um, with your first secure credit card, the goal is to only spend what you can afford to pay off monthly. If you start that habit early, then as you build up your experience using a credit card, you're going to maintain that habit of only spending what you can pay off monthly on a credit card. For those who've been using credit for years, um, if you're carrying a balance on a credit card, the goal is to try to get the balance under 30% of the credit limit. So it doesn't have a negative effect on your credit score. Or if you can pay the card off to zero, then you can start a habit of only spending on your credit card what you can pay off monthly. And not only does that help your score, it also saves you on interest on your credit card. Next, we want to check our credit. I have annually, but we really want to check it on a regular basis. There's a lot of free options where you can monitor your credit report um, on a regular basis, as well as these accounts will send alerts to let you know when there's any changes to your credit report. So we want to make sure that we're checking our credit because we want to check for any incorrect or fraudulent information so we can correct it as soon as possible. And then Only borrow what you can afford to pay back within 30 days. And this goes for, again, credit card payments as well as any installment payments, even rent. Want to make sure that when you're looking for a place to rent, that's a bill that you can afford to pay. So just making sure that any type of debt that we're opening, we can make our monthly payments. And then again, like before, just protecting your identity. So now with savings, I'm going to building good habits when it comes to paying yourself first, because paying yourself first is going to help you learn how to prioritize your savings and make it an essential part of your finances. For our youth and young adults, if you're earning an income and right now you don't have a lot of bills, you're living at home with parents, it's good to start developing, prioritizing saving money before you start getting your adult bills and have to pay rent and having to have groceries and utilities and more expenses. So it's good to start the habit of paying yourself first now while you have a limited amount of expenses. And then for our adults, monthly, you can always, when you look at your budget, you can find ways to cut down on expenses to start putting money towards your savings before you spend on other expenses. So why it's important to have a savings. Um, Having a saving, especially a healthy emergency fund, can provide a financial safety net, reducing stress and given to allow you to have time to recover from an emergency. It also gives us funds to put towards large purchases and long-term goals. Um, and some other things that it offers us is financial stability. So having a strong savings provide a safety net during unexpected financial hardships, keeping our finances stable and reducing stress. It also builds interest over time and allows you to do more with your cash flow. Secondly, is allow you to avoid debt. So savings is going to help us avoid going into debt by providing the resources needed to handle unexpected expenses, make large purchases, and meet our goals without borrowing more than we need. Third, it's going to offer a peace of mind. So knowing that we have financial resources for any situation provides peace of mind, allowing us to focus on the things that matter the most. And then lastly, improved credit score. Because we're avoiding using debt, because we have savings, it's going to help us maintain a good credit score, making it easier for us to access loans and credit when needed. So some good tips to building your savings. So building and maintaining your savings require consistent effort and prioritizing savings, even when finances are tight. It's crucial to find a balance between savings and meeting your basic needs. So first, we want to set a savings goal. So determine how much you want to save and set a realistic timeline to achieve it. This is where you're going to utilize your budget to set your monthly savings amount and then start saving early to take advantage of compounding interest. And then I recommend opening a separate account for specific saving goals. So having an account for an emergency, having an account for a large purchase, travel. So just making sure you're separating your savings based on what the savings goal is. Second, we want to automate our savings. So setting up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account on a regular basis is going to help you save and maintain the savings more. Um, and this is where we come into paying ourselves first. So just making sure we're setting up that transfer as soon as our paycheck hits our checking account. Ideally, we want to have a direct deposit from our employer to our savings, because that's going to make sure that the money is going straight to savings before we see it in our checking account and have the option to spend it on something else. Lastly, we want to make sure that we're putting our savings into high yield savings accounts. So these are savings accounts that offer a high interest rate. They have no fees and no minimum balance required. And you can look for these accounts on websites like NerdWallet or Bankrate to see who's offering the best interest rate. Third, we want to reduce expenses. So identify areas where you can cut back on spending to allocate that income to your savings. And then lastly, increase income. So if we're needing to increase income, this is where we can consider taking on a side hustle or a second job, or maybe like I talked before, maybe you want to switch into a different industry or career that offers a higher salary. These are ways to gain some additional income to accelerate the savings process. Also, like throughout the year, when you earn extra income, then putting the extra income into savings. So, it's tax season right now. So taxes and a tax refund is an example of extra income we might receive during the year. Some companies might offer like bonuses through each year. So that's extra income that can go into your savings. Birthdays or holidays, if you're receiving cash gifts, that's also extra income that can go into your savings. So lastly, when it comes to savings, I do want to talk about some investing basics. And I do want to have a disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor, and I'm not credentialed as a financial advisor. So I'm just giving you some basic information just to spark your interest in investing. So I do recommend, if you are interested in any type of investment accounts, to speak with a financial advisor about what type of investments you are into are interested in, to just make sure that you're making the right choices. So just going into what investing is. So investing is growing your wealth through stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, and cryptocurrency. If you want to get into investing, again, I recommend that you start small as well as diversify your investments. And then also become knowledgeable about the types of investments that you're interested in. So making sure you're talking to the right people to help you navigate investing. And then last, we had different types of investments for retirement. 3B. Those are retirement accounts that you can have through your employer. So 401ks is for for-profit companies if you work at a for-profit. And then 403B is if you work within a nonprofit organization. If you are employed, even at a young age, you can start contributing to your retirement plan through your employer. Also, as a young adult that's working, again, if you're living at home and you don't have a lot of expenses, this is a great time to pour into a retirement account. So pour into your 401k, even if it's your first job at Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A have a 401k that you can contribute to, and that Chick-fil-A is probably contributing to as well. So putting some of your income into that retirement fund can help you start building money for the future. And as you transition into different careers and different jobs, you can take that retirement fund from one employer to the next. So you can transfer to each job as long as you're putting it into a qualifying retirement account. And then we have our Roth IRAs and traditional IRAs. The traditional IRA is the individual retirement accounts. These are accounts that you can get through your bank or brokerage firm. And so meeting with a financial advisor at a bank or a brokerage firm, they can help you decide what are the good options for your IRA. So if you're self-employed or have or entrepreneur, or if you work for a company that do not offer a retirement plan, these are some good options to start saving for retirement. So as we get into investing, we do want to understand the risk and return of investing. So risk is all investments come with risk. So there's a chance of losing money. So normally the higher the potential return, so the higher amount of money that you might earn from an investment comes with a higher risk. So again, understanding what you're investing in can help you determine if you're someone who's more of a conservative investor where there's a lower risk of losing money, which has a lower return, or if you're more of an aggressive investor where you're okay with the high risk, but because you want the big return. Lastly, diversification is just meaning that you're spreading your investments across different types of assets to reduce risk. For example, if one investment goes down, then another investment that you have might be going up. So diversifying is going to make sure that you're not putting all of your coins into one bucket. So then if you lose that one bucket, then you lose all of your coins. So this is putting your coins into different types of investments. So if something happened to one bucket, you still have your other investment buckets that are growing and building wealth for you. So just pulling like all of the information we went over today all together, we want to make sure that we're building a successful career and financial life. So continuous learning and adaptability. We want to keep learning new skills, whether it's through online courses or workshops or continuing education. We also want to make sure that we're networking with people in our industries, or if you're trying to change industries, you might want to network with individuals in a career field that you're interested in. And then also be open to change and growth. There are some industries that are constantly changing. Like right now, we see a lot of industries that are moving towards using like AI services. I even saw like new developments happening in Houston where like HEB is opening a drive up store. So there's so much change and growth that's happening in different industries right now. So you have to be open to that change because that can determine your career stability. Next is work-life balance. So we want to make sure that we have a balance when it comes to work and our personal lives. So don't neglect your health and happiness when it comes to your career. Also prioritize time management and self-care. Um, so this is going to help you be able to not burn out in your career. And then we want to make sure that we're focusing on our long-term financial goals. So, owning a home one day, building wealth through investments, and preparing for retirement. Some key takeaways. So, just to recap our main points today, your career is a journey. It take time to explore, learn, and grow. If you are on the path of, if you're an adult and you're on the path of changing careers or wanting to upskill in your current career, then the same thing, take time to explore and learn and grow in your current careers as well. And then continue to understand that personal finance is essential to achieving financial freedom and success. So start early with budgeting, saving, and investing. Um, for our adults, it's never too late to start using budget plans and start saving and investing. Um, so don't be afraid to start those things even later in life. Then keep learning and adapting to changes in your career and financial life. And then our goals, stay curious and proactive, and then consider working with a financial stability coach or mentor. So with that being said, I do want to go into what Family Houston offers. So we do offer free one-on-one financial stability coaching for individuals ages 14 and up. With our financial coaching services, we provide one-on-one support to help you reach your financial goals, whether it's money management, credit, savings. Um, if you're trying to prepare to purchase a house or car, we're here to support you. And as far as your career goals, we are here to help you with your things that you're wanting or needing to upskill or move into a new career. We also help with interviewing prep as well. And then we provide you with tools and resources to help you meet your goals. We have two programs. So we do have our Youth on the Move program. The Youth on the Move program is focused on youth ages 14 to 24 in the greater Houston area. And with this program, we do offer career and financial workshops, the free one-on-one monthly coaching sessions, as well as some additional support. This program is supported by the NBA Foundation. Some key features of the Youth on a Move program is again the career and financial focused monthly webinars. We have a minimum of one individual coaching session per month. We also support youth in securing employment opportunities. And then those that are young entrepreneurs, we have a micro grant to support their small business projects. To either help them grow a small business or start a small business. And then we have workforce supports that we provide to help our participants navigate the job markets. And so these are gift cards that we would provide to our youth for like if they need gas to get to work or to a job interview, if they need to purchase work attire, if they have a certification they're wanting to get. Anything that we consider employment expense. And then for our adult program, so anyone that is 25 and older, again, they will fall into our adult program where we provide the one-on-one financial and employment coaching, as well as we're going to be starting um, we're going to be starting our credit workshops that will be happening one Saturday per month. So look out on familyhouston.org for more information about those, as well as more information about our Youth on the Move program. If you're ready to take the next step, you can reach out to Family Houston to schedule an appointment. Our main contact number is 713-861-4849, or you can email programs@familyhouston.org. Website familyhouston.org to learn more about all of our programs, as well as our financial stability programs. You can also reach me directly. My direct contact number is my office number is 713-861-4849, extension 7739. My direct email is mchaney@familyhouston.org, and that's spelled MCHENEY@familyhouston.org. You can also text or call me at my work cell, which is 832-972.
Can you repeat that? It got a little choppy when you said that last phone number.
My cell number?
Yes.
My cell number is 832-987-2023.
Okay. Okay. I was at a
So I guess we done. Do we have anybody in person that have any
no, the one that
questions?
was here, she left already.
Okay,
She
okay,
had to go pick up her kids, so she wasn't able to stay. But
okay.
the one thing that I did want, what did I just do? Oh, that was I'm like, I saw a flash somewhere. That was your camera coming in. I'm
Fine.
like, what did that? Am I doing something wrong?
Turn my
With Zoom, you
camera.
never know what's gonna happen. You don't know what you're gonna get. But
I don't know.
I
Something just been acting funny with Zoom lately.
Hey, maybe it's too many people trying to want to access it and get on at the same time, or
Right.
they're in the middle of some updates or something. Who knows? There's no telling. But I was at a health summit earlier today. Harris Health had a health summit, and somebody asked about what do you need to do to help change the mindset of people when it comes to uh, health considerations and things that impact the health, things like that. And one of the researchers said that that economic mobility or the let me make sure I word this correctly the way that she said it. One of the greatest impacts or greatest factors when people changing people's mindsets when it comes to economic mobility is loneliness. And the biggest age group of people that reported experiencing loneliness, everybody thought it was going to be seniors. That age group, it was 18 to 29. And I thought that was rather interesting because, and then they kind of went into a little bit more detail, but just to kind of, in my own summation, that's the age group that's so into social media and the isolation and not really the social engagement or what have you, but they're also at that age where they're not sure what they want to do. don't know who to talk to, don't know who to ask
Right.
certain questions to, know where to go for available resources. Maybe some of them didn't access the counseling that was available at their school with their guidance counselors and things like that. So they keep to themselves. They think, I'm never going to get it together. I'm just going to keep it to myself. And it's important that people reach out to organizations like what you guys have so that you can get that stability coaching, whatever it is that looks like for you. I don't want my greatest takeaway from this particular presentation is that I don't want folks to think that there are no options that are out there, that there is somebody out there that can assist them and kind of help with guiding them in the direction wherever it is that they see their future or whatever career path they want to start or change or whatever that is. But don't let that loneliness and isolation stop you from being mobile, because
Yes.
that's when that depression and stuff kind of starts to set in and you start, talking down to yourself or feeling bad because we have so many kids that are getting out of high school that are, in their early 20s and whatnot, that are still trying to find themselves and don't know what to do. And, your parents don't
Hmm.
understand. They just don't get you, that kind of stuff. So they don't talk to
Yes.
anybody. They don't talk to anybody, you know. And I just thought that whole concept of the loneliness is what impacts that mindset sometimes. And that age group is are the biggest age group that experiences that loneliness. So I just thought that was a very interesting factor um, when it comes to changing the mindset of your economic mobility and what it looks like. Because if you don't, you know, you didn't go to school, you didn't get that job, you didn't whatever it was that happened or that setback that you may have had, it instantly puts that negative thought into the back of your head. I'm not going to ever be able to make it. What's the point of me trying? I'll,
Yeah.
that kind of
And
thing.
then
So,
social media,
and then
it
social
makes
media.
it causes the issue because you have a lot of young people who manage to become like influencers and things like that, or they started businesses. Whatever they manage, they got success at a young age. And so they're living a certain lifestyle and they're presenting this lifestyle, but they're not presenting what they had to do to get there.
Mhm.
And so you also seeing like other people, like other young people who like, well, how do I get to that point of success? Because I'll see like young people buying houses and then they're like, oh, I'm only 22 because they were able to figure out a system to get to success at a your early age. And
Mhm.
so it's just that whole mindset of keeping up with the Joneses, and then also just the idea that you need to spend a certain amount of money to be accepted. So it's a lot that they have to
Yeah.
a lot that they have on
Have to
their plate
contend
because
with.
they're
Yeah.
seeing everybody what everybody is doing versus
Mhm.
us growing up. We only saw people in our
Immediate neighbor,
our
immediate
circle, our
circle,
immediate circles. So
and
whoever
family.
was at school with, whoever we went to church with, or whatever activities we were doing, those are the only people we saw. But now they see everybody. So
Well,
they,
they see everything that everybody wants them to see.
yes,
They don't see the real behind the reels that are on Instagram. You know what I
yes,
mean? They don't really still see any of that kind of stuff or don't think about influences don't happen overnight. If social media influencing is what you want to do, there's work that's involved with that. There's a lot of content creation that needs to go along with that. There's a lot of marketing that needs to go along with that. And so people don't sometimes put the two and two together. That's basically marketing what they're
yeah,
doing. which means you probably should be taking some kind of a class or something that helps you with understanding businesses, the cost and the supply and the demand and how expensive things get, and
Oh,
or
and it goes up and down.
and it goes up and down,
A
which
lot of
means
the experienced influencers are starting to talk about how their income goes up and down. Like one
mhm,
month they can make a lot of money, and one month they might make nothing. So,
mhm, mhm,
and then it's just you have access to seeing kids your age that appear like they got it together,
mhm,
even if they're in college and they appear like they know where they're going in life, and then now, like you said, you're looking at that, you're like, well, I don't know where I want to be. I know
mhm.
I don't want to go to college because college is not for me, but I don't know where or what I want to do, and so that can
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I may cut you off.
so I can see how that can affect your emotional state because now you're feeling like you're behind the curve of people in your age group. And so that's, I mean, what Youth on the Move is here for.
But even not just for you, for some adults too. I
Mhm.
In talking to quite a few people, I realize that a lot of adults don't have any hobbies. They don't know what they like to do. They just immediately just go to work. So when it comes time for them to think about
Mhm.
career changes or starting a business or whatever, they have no idea what they like or what they enjoy. Not knowing that whatever that enjoyment is could be that business niche that you may need. But there's
Right.
a lot of folks that don't have basic hobbies to even know how to experiment with things to find out what they like. Do you like running? Do you like gardening? Do you like crocheting? Do you like, being crafty? Do you like, counting money and doing accounting work or whatever? You
To
never know.
you might like watching TV and you can make money posting TV show reviews on
like
TikTok.
like the kids that do the gaming, they play the video games or whatever. Now they're professional gamers and they're out there making all of this money just by playing video games all day. So that's not to say, hold on, folks, that's not to say for some of these parents, that just because your kids are playing video games or you're good at reaching the max level that you're supposed to be a professional
Yeah.
gamer. That's not what we're saying. But
You have to
just
be
to
really, really
realize
good. Like people
you
have
have
to
to
want
be
to
really
watch
good
you.
and know that there's work that's involved with it, but you won't know until you actually start doing things, because in your mind sometimes too, you think that you're supposed to go to this one career path, but life be life, and it has a way of trying to push you in a different direction than what you thought that you would be going into, and you end up with a completely different career path. So kind of keep your mind open when it comes to jobs and careers and things like that as you're choosing. I was talking with our resident services coordinator here just a while ago. Um, she started out as our, well, not resident services, she's our assistant leasing person now. She started out as resident coordinator. She's going to school for education. And yeah, I'm talking about you. So she's going to school for education. But in doing the work that she's been doing here, the business side of the leasing and the numbers and the services for residents, she absolutely loves that stuff now. So she stopped going to class. I told her not to do that, but she did switch her major over to business as opposed to sticking with the education, because she just,
Yeah.
you have to be flexible enough to make that kind of a pivot when it comes to career changes and jobs, because you just never know where things are going to be leading you to. So that's my takeaway.
Right.
But
Oh,
that's
no,
all.
no. I met a client recently who wants to transition out of being a teacher to something else. So it was just trying to help her navigate, like, okay, well, we just started. What are you good at? What are skills, transferable skills you have
Mm-hmm.
that you can upskill? Because sometimes, like, you might have certain skills that if you take this training, then that training will open doors to a new industry or career. So that's where that upskill is coming into play. So,
Or or
like,
or taking that teaching skill and become a professional tutor or creating some kind of a consulting business related to education or
Yeah,
dealing
like,
with youth and things like that. You just never know.
yeah, because you can have a degree in science and then decide to pivot into teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So, because usually to be a teacher, you just need a bachelor's degree. So, like, I have a degree in psychology. I can still go and get my teaching certification and
Mm-hmm.
teach any subject that I feel that I have an expertise in,
Mm-hmm.
uh, simply because I have a bachelor's degree. And usually, even to become a teacher, you just need to go through one of those accelerated programs. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, if I want to go be a nurse, I could just go and become
Go
a
to take your
nurse.
nursing
Now, would
school.
I do that? No, because I was like, that ship
Well,
has sailed. That was my original career path when I was in
no.
college with
At,
nursing.
at, at one point, I thought I wanted to go into teaching, and I just realized that that's just not my calling. It's not my mission. I just couldn't do it. Bless those
Yeah.
teachers, bless their hearts. God love them. Everybody's not called or meant to be. That's just wasn't my calling. That's all I can say. I couldn't do it. I
No,
could
I
not do
like I like teaching in this manner.
it.
I have more control.
We
And
all
I don't
are
have to
teachers
do
or should be teachers.
assignments and things like that.
We all are teachers or should be teaching in one form or another. So, but at any
Yeah,
rate,
I thought about therapy too, and one day I was like, I just can't sit and listen to people problems all day. Like I feel like it would drain me. So
I heard psychology professionals say that if you're a therapist and you don't have a therapist, then you're not a good therapist. So
yes,
because you got to be able to release all of that onto somebody else. You can't keep all that to yourself. The same thing with
yeah.
counselors. What I see with the housing counselors, financial coaches and counselors,
Hmm.
they come with a lot of different issues and a lot of trauma. A lot of different outside, life
Even
traumas.
financial backgrounds because how you learned how to manage money can shift into your career.
Hmm. Indeed,
Um,
indeed.
and then certain beliefs and values you have can determine how you coach about certain things or
Hmm.
feel about certain things. And so we have to kind of take that out of because we meet
The
it with so many
equation.
different people. So we can put our beliefs, we have to stick to what the facts are when it comes to personal finance.
Uh-huh. Indeed,
So
indeed. And not everybody's
yes,
gonna think the same way.
I like don't ask me for advice because that's not my job to give you advice. Because that means it's gonna be
Indeed.
biased.
Indeed. Well,
So
thank you so much, Monet, this afternoon for relinquishing the last hour and a half of your time to present this
yes.
information. When you guys when you get the schedule together for your Saturday credit, to send it to us and let us know. We'll make sure that we get help
Mhm.
get that distributed as well, because that's a great thing to have something like that available on Saturdays for folks.
Yes, and then it's going to be coordinated with our food pantry.
Okay.
So, individuals that's needing to access our food pantry, if they're meeting with a case manager here, then
Mm-hmm.
they can come for some information on different credit topics
Mm-hmm.
and also pick up a bag of food or
So get
personal
fed and
care
get fed.
items or essentials they need. And we're going to have food, we're going to feed.
No, I'm saying so you're getting fed and you're getting fed. So, feeding
Yes.
your mental, feeding your financial, feeding your physical. So you got them
So,
all in one.
yes. When I
Good
have,
deal.
I'm working on the flyer for April now. So
Okay.
I'll send you the flyer once it's completed. But
Okay.
the plan is for April 19th at 10 o'clock,
Okay.
10 a.m. in the morning. And we're
And
not
then
going to keep you long either, so you can enjoy your Saturday.
And then, but next month, on the Wednesday, are we still doing the in-person? Um,
I sent it to my supervisor, and I need to double check and make sure she reserved the room.
okay. If not,
Because it's been a lot going on
okay.
because
But
she keep dropping stuff on me.
But if not, I'll definitely make sure that we get the information out to everybody. But definitely want to be able to, whether it's virtual or in person or a hybrid presentation.
Yes.
Next month is the mind over money, and how your finances impact, how your mental health impacts your finances. We had a great presentation last year. And for those that don't know, that Family Houston does offer some mental health coaching as well. They have skilled professionals that are there, uh, with psychology degrees and things like that, where people can sign up for that service. And it was very interesting, and even interesting to hear the folks that were in attendance to talk about their mental health and their finances and how one impacts the other. So definitely want to join us for that, and I'll send the notifications out about that to everybody as well. But with that being said, we are now concluding our presentation for this evening. Again, thank you, Monet and Family Houston, for being a longtime sponsor for our Money, Health, and Wealth Financial Capability Series offered here with Neighborhood Recovery. And as part of the A Month of Service collaboration, we want to thank you guys for joining us for today's presentation. We'll send out the recording, any available resources that were mentioned throughout the presentation. We're going to make sure that gets sent out to you all as well. Those links that she had that were on the presentation, that will be sent to you guys as well. Please share the information, especially about the Youth on the Move programs that are available to anyone that you all know of that may be interested in the service, and may be able to find that information to be beneficial. So please share it along. Without further ado, I'm not going to hold you any longer than we have to. So thank
Yes.
y'all very much for joining us. You take care of yourselves, stay safe, and we'll see y'all again soon. Thank you, Monet.
Thank you.